वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमन ने वित्त वर्ष 2025-26 के लिए बजट पेश करते हुए कहा, साथ मिलकर हम प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के दूरदर्शी नेतृत्व में भारत की क्षमता को उजागर करने का लक्ष्य रखते हैं। ये बजट विकसित भारत के सपने को साकार करने के लिए है। ये हमारे मध्यम वर्ग, किसानों और व्यापारियों की आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करने के लिए तैयार किया गया है।
Honorable Speaker, I present the budget for 25-26. This budget continues our government's efforts to A. Accelerate growth, B. Secure inclusive development, C. Invigorate private sector investments, D. Uplift household sentiments, and E. Enhance spending power of India's rising middle class. Together, we embark on a journey to tremendous potential for greater prosperity and global positioning under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi.
आइए जानते हैं बजट की कुछ प्रमुख बातें। वित्तीय सुधार को ध्यान में रखते हुए निवेश के लिए नियमों को आसान किया गया है, जिसके तहत सरकार ने बीमा क्षेत्र में विदेशी निवेश की सीमा को 74% से बढ़ाकर 100% कर दिया है, जिससे विदेशी कंपनियां भारत में और अधिक निवेश कर सकेंगी। बैंक और वित्तीय लेन देन और भी आसान करने के लिए नया केंद्रीय KYC रजिस्ट्रेशन सिस्टम लागू किया जाएगा। इसके अलावा कंपनियों के विलय के लिए तेज अप्रूवल प्रक्रिया शुरू की जाएगी और बिजनेस फ्रेंडली नियम बनाए जाएंगे ताकि व्यापार करना आसान हो। सरकार 2025 में राज्यों के लिए निवेश मित्रता सूचकांक भी शुरू कर निवेश के लिए और अधिक आकर्षक बन सके। इसके अलावा सरकार द्वारा राज्यों को 1.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए का इंटरेस्ट फ्री लोन देने की घोषणा की गई ताकि वे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सुधार के लिए प्रोजेक्ट्स को तेजी से पूरा कर सकें। फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी एंड डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल के तहत नियमों और सहायक देशों के प्रभाव को एक मैकेनिज्म सेट किया जाए। स्ट्रक्चर के बजट में सरकार ने बढ़ाकर 8 करोड़ रुपए शहरी 1 लाख करोड़ चैलेंज फंड घोषणा की को आर्थिक के रूप में शहरों को आर्थिक के रूप में ये फंड सड़कों, जलापूर्ति और स्वच्छता परियोजनाओं में निवेश करेगा। सरकार ने ये भी घोषणा की है कि वित्त वर्ष 2025-26 तक 40,000 सस्ते मकान तैयार किए जाएंगे। इसके लिए 15,000 करोड़ रुपए का स्वामी फंड 2 स्थापित किया जाएगा।
As we complete the first quarter of the 21st century, continuing geopolitical headwinds suggest economic growth medium, however, because it inspired and the truck during our government's to resolute is the fastest growing among all major economies. Our development track record for the past 10 years and structural reforms have drawn global attention. Confidence in India's capability has only grown in this period. We see the next 5 years as a unique opportunity to realize Sabka Vikas, stimulating balanced growth of all regions. The great Telugu poet and playwright Gurujada Apparao had said, "Deshamante matti kadoy, deshamante manushuloy," meaning a country is not just its soil, a country is its people. In line with this, for us, Vikasit Bharat encompasses zero poverty, 100% quality good school education, access to high quality, affordable and comprehensive health care, 100% skilled labor with meaningful employment, 70% women in economic activities, and farmers making our country the food basket of the world. In this budget, the proposed development measures span 10 broad areas focusing on Garib, Youth, Annadata and Nari, spurring agricultural growth and productivity, building rural prosperity and resilience, taking everyone together on an inclusive growth path, boosting manufacturing and furthering Make in India, supporting MSMEs, enabling employment-led development, investing in people, economy and innovation, securing energy supplies, promoting exports and nurturing innovation. For this journey of development, our four powerful engines are agriculture, MSME, investments and exports. The fuel, our reforms, our guiding spirit, inclusivity, and the destination, Vikasit Bharat. This will initiate transformative reforms across 6 domains. During the first 5 years, these will augment our growth potential and global competitiveness. The domains are power sector, urban development, mining, financial sector, and regulatory reforms. Strengthening urban livelihoods. Our government has been giving priority to assisting urban poor and vulnerable. A scheme for socio-economic upliftment of urban workers, implementing improved livelihoods and a better quality of life. PM Swanidhi scheme has benefited more than 68 lakhs, giving them respite from high-interest informal sector loans. Building on this success, the scheme will be revamped with enhanced loans from banks, UPI credit cards with this limit, and capacity building. Social Security scheme for welfare of platform work. Gig workers of online platforms provide great dynamism to the new age services economy. Recognizing their change for their identity cards and registration on the e-Shram portal. They will be Jan Arogya Yojana. This measure is nearly 1 workers. Investing in the economy. Private partnership from ministry will come up with a 3-year pipeline of projects that can be implemented in PPP mode. States will also be encouraged to do so and can seek support from the Infrastructure Fund, which is a scheme PP. Support to states for infrastructure. An outlay of 1.5 lakh crore is proposed for the 50-year interest-free loans to states for capital and for reforms. Building first asset monetization plan announced the 2025 to 30 will be launched to plow back capital of 10 lakh crore in new projects. Regulatory and fiscal measures will be fine-tuned to support the plan. Jal Jeevan Mission. Since 2019, 15 crore households representing 80 years have been to achieve coverage. I am pleased the extension of this mission until 2028 with an enhanced The mission's focus will be on the quarter and O&M of rural piped water supply schemes through Jan Bhagidari. A separate MOU or separate MOUs will be signed with the states to enable sustainability and citizen-centric water services delivery. Urban sector reforms. Building on the July budget proposals, urban sector reforms related to governance, municipal services, urban land and planning will be incentivized. Urban Challenge Fund. The government will set up an urban challenge fund of 1 lakh crore rupees to implement the proposals for cities as growth hubs, creative redevelopment of cities, and for water and sanitation purposes announced in the July budget. This fund will finance up to 25% of the cost of bankable projects. Stipulation that at least 50% of the cost is funded from bonds, bank loans and PPPs. An allocation of 10,000 crore is proposed in 2025-26.
भारत को क्लीन एनर्जी की दिशा में आगे ले जाने के लिए एक नया परमाणु ऊर्जा मिशन शुरू करने की भी घोषणा की है। इस मिशन का लक्ष्य है कि 2047 तक कम से कम 100 गीगावाट परमाणु ऊर्जा का उत्पादन किया जाए। इस क्षेत्र में निजी कंपनियों को भी भागित किया जाएगा। एटॉमिक एनर्जी एक्ट और न्यूक्लियर डैमेज एक्ट के तहत सिविल लाइन बदलाव करेगी। इसके ने लघु मॉड्यूलर रिएक्टर के विकास 1000 करोड़ रुपए का फंड। इस फंड का उद्देश्य है कि 2033 तक भारत में 5 स्वदेशी एसएमआर काम करने लगे। इससे स्वतंत्र को तेजी मिलेगी और ऊर्जा क्षेत्र में आत्मनिर्भरता बढ़ेगी। छोटे व्यवसायों के लिए भी बड़े अवसर की घोषणा करते हुए वित्त मंत्री ने कहा कि माइक्रो, स्मॉल और मीडियम एंटरप्राइज भारत के विकास का दूसरा बड़ा इंजन है, जो देश के 45% योगदान देता है। एमएसएमई को और मजबूत बनाने के लिए सरकार ने कस्टमाइज्ड क्रेडिट कार्ड शुरू किए हैं ताकि फाइनेंस की सुविधा आसान हो। स्टार्टअप्स के लिए विशेष फंड बनाए गए हैं ताकि नए व्यवसाय को बढ़ावा मिल सके। फंड्स का दायरा बढ़ाया गया है ताकि एमएसएमई को अधिक निवेश का मौका मिले। इसके अलावा सरकार ने एमएसएमई के लिए निवेश और टर्नओवर सीमा को भी बढ़ाने का फैसला लिया है, जिससे उनकी विकास दर 2.5 गुना और टर्नओवर 2 गुना तक बढ़ाया जा सकेगा। इससे छोटे व्यवसायों को नई ऊंचाइयां छूने में मदद मिलेगी। भारत के फुटवेयर और चमड़ा उद्योग को और मजबूत करने के लिए एक नई योजना शुरू की जाएगी। इस योजना के तहत चमड़े और गैर चमड़े के जूतों के डिजाइन, कंपोनेंट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और मशीनरी के विकास पर काम किया जाएगा। इस पहल से 22 लाख नई नौकरियां पैदा होने की उम्मीद है। इससे 400 करोड़ रुपए का कारोबार उत्पन्न होगा और निर्यात 1.1 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक तक बढ़ सकता है। इसके अलावा सरकार खिलौना उद्योग को भी बढ़ावा देगी। भारत को खिलौनों के वैश्विक हब के रूप में स्थापित करने के लिए एक नई योजना बनाई गई है। इसमें उच्च गुणवत्ता वाले और इनोवेटिव खिलौनों के लिए क्लस्टर और स्किल डेवलप जाएगा।
Now engine passes manufacturing and services with a focus on MSMEs numbering 5.7 crores. Currently, over 1 crore registered MSMEs employing 7.5 and generating 36% of our manufacturing have come together to position India as a global manufacturing hub. With their quality products, these are responsible for 40% of our exports. To help them achieve higher efficiencies of scale, technological upgradation, and better access to capital, the investment and turnover limits for classification of all MSMEs will be enhanced to 2.5 and 2 times respectively. This will give them the confidence and generate for us. The details are given in Annexure D. To improve access to credit, the credit guarantee cover will be enhanced. For micro and small enterprises from 5 crore to 10 crore rupees, additional credit of 1.5 in the next 5 years. Second, for startup, 10 crore rupees to 20 crore rupees, with the gap moderated to for loans and to focus sectors which are important for Atmanirbhar Bharat. And for well-run exporter MSMEs, for term loans of crore rupees. Also for the micro enterprises, we will introduce credit cards with a 5 lakh rupee limit for micro enterprises registered on Udyam portal. In the first year, 10 lakh such cards will be issued. Fund of funds for startups. The Alternate Investment Fund, AIFs, for startups have received commitments of more than 91,000 crores. Rupees are supported by the fund of funds set up with the Government of India's contribution of 10,000 crore rupees. Now, a new fund of funds with expanded scope and a fresh contribution of another 10,000 crore rupees will be set up. A new will be launched for 5 lakh women, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, first-time entrepreneurs. It will provide term loans up to 2 crore rupees during the next 5 years. The scheme will incorporate lessons from the successful Stand Up India scheme. Online capacity building for entrepreneurship and managerial skills will also be organized. Measures for labor-intensive sectors. To promote employment and opportunities in sectors, our government will undertake specific policy and facilitation measures. To enhance the productivity, quality and competitiveness of India's footwear and leather sector, a focused product scheme will be implemented. The scheme will support design capacity, component manufacturing and machinery required for leather quality footwear, besides the support for leather footwear and products. The scheme is expected to facilitate employment for 22 lakh persons, generate over 4 lakh crore rupees and exports of over 1.1 lakh crore rupees. Measures for the toys sector. Building on the National Action Plan for Toys, we will implement a scheme to make India a global hub for toys. The scheme will focus on development of clusters, skills, and a manufacturing ecosystem that will create high quality, innovative, and sustainable toys that will represent the Made in India brand. Support for food processing. In line with our commitment towards Purvodaya, we will establish a National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management in Bihar. The institute will provide a strong fillip to food processing activities in the entire eastern region. This will result in 1. Enhanced income for the farmers through value addition to their produce, and 2. Skilling entrepreneurship and employment opportunities for the youth. Manufacturing mission, furthering Make in India. Our government will set up a national manufacturing mission covering small, medium and large industries for furthering Make in India by providing policy support, execution roadmaps, governance and monitoring framework for central ministries and states.
किसानों के लिए प्रधानमंत्री कृषि योजना के तहत एक नई पहल शुरू की गई है, जिसे जन धन कृषि योजना कहा गया है। इस योजना का उद्देश्य कम उत्पादन वाले 100 जिलों पर विशेष ध्यान देना, फसल विविधीकरण को बढ़ावा देना ताकि किसान सिर्फ एक ही फसल पर निर्भर न रहें, स्टोरेज और सिंचाई की सुविधाओं में सुधार करना तथा किसानों को लंबी और छोटी अवधि के कर्ज आसानी से उपलब्ध कराना। हालांकि सरकार का अनुमान है कि इससे 1.7 करोड़ किसान परिवारों को फायदा होगा। सरकार ने यह भी घोषणा की है कि भारत में दालों के उत्पादन को बढ़ाने के लिए 6 साल का मिशन शुरू किया जाएगा ताकि देश को आयात रहना पड़े। इसके साथ ही बिहार में मखाना बोर्ड बनाया जाएगा ताकि मखाना उत्पादन को बढ़ावा मिले। सर, ये आसान कर्ज सुविधा का भी ऐलान किया। किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड के जरिए 7.7 करोड़ किसानों, मछुआरों और डेयरी किसानों को आसान शर्तों पर लोन दिया जाएगा। इसके अलावा ब्याज में छूट वाली योजना के तहत अब किसानों को मिलने वाले लोन की सीमा 3 लाख रुपए से बढ़ाकर 5 लाख तक कर दी गई है। इससे किसानों को खेती के लिए जरूरी खर्चों को पूरा करने में आसानी होगी।
Agriculture as the first engine. Now I move to specific proposals, beginning with agriculture as the first engine. Prime Minister Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana, developing agri-districts program. Motivated by the success of the aspirational district program, our government will undertake a Prime Minister Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana in partnership with states. Through the convergence of existing schemes and specialized measures, the program will cover 100 districts with low productivity, moderate crop intensity, and below average credit parameters. It aims to 1. Enhance agricultural productivity, 2. Adopt crop diversification and agricultural practices, 3. Augment posts at the panchayat and block level, 4. Improve irrigation facilities, and 5. Facilitate availability of long-term and short-term credit. This program is likely to help 1.7 crore farmers. Building rural prosperity and resilience. A comprehensive multi-sectoral rural prosperity and resilience program will be launched in partnership with the states. This will address underemployment in agriculture through skilling, investment, technology, and invigorating the rural economy. The goal is to generate ample opportunities in rural areas so that migration is an option but not a necessity. The program will focus on rural women, young farmers, rural youth, marginal and small farmers, and landless families. The details are in Annexure A. Domestic best practices will be incorporated, and appropriate technical and financial assistance will be sought from multilateral development banks. In Phase 1, 100 developing agri-districts will be covered. Atmanirbharta in pulses. Our government is implementing the National Mission for Edible Oilseed for achieving Atmanirbharta in edible oils. Our farmers have the capability to grow enough for our needs and more. 10 years ago, we made concerted efforts and succeeded in achieving near self-sufficiency in pulses. Farmers responded to the need by increasing the cultivated area by 50%, and government arranged for procurement and remunerative prices. Since then, with rising incomes and better affordability, our consumption of pulses has increased significantly. Our government will now launch a 6-year mission for Atmanirbharta in pulses with a special focus on Tuar, Urad and Masoor. Details are in Annexure B. Central agencies such as NAFED and NCCF will be ready to procure these 3 pulses as much as offered during the next 4 years from farmers who register with these agencies and enter into agreements. Comprehensive program for vegetables and fruits. It is encouraging that our people are increasingly becoming aware of their nutritional needs. It is a society becoming healthier. With it rising the consumption of vegetables, fruits, and Shri Anna is increasing significantly. A comprehensive program to promote production, efficient supplies, processing, and remunerative prices for farmers will be launched in partnership with the states. Appropriate institutional implementation and farmer producer organizations and cooperatives. Makhana board in Bihar. For this, there is a special opportunity. People of Bihar. Makhana board will be established in the state to improve production, processing, value addition and marketing of makhana. The people engaged in these activities will be organized into FPOs. The board will provide hand-holding and training support to makhana farmers and will also work to ensure they receive the benefits of all relevant government schemes. A national mission on high-yielding seeds will be launched. Strength ecosystem. 2. Targeted development and propagation of seeds with high yield, pest resistance and climate resilience. And 3. Commercial availability of more than 100 seed varieties released since July 2024. India ranks second largest globally in fish production and aquaculture. Seafood exports are valued at 60,000 crore rupees. To unlock the untapped potential of the marine sector, our government will bring in an enabling framework for sustainable harnessing of fisheries from Indian exclusive economic zone and high seas, with a special focus on the Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep islands. For the benefit of lakhs of cotton growing farmers, I am pleased to announce a mission for cotton productivity. This 5-year mission will facilitate SIGs in productivity and sustainability of cotton farming and promote cotton, the best of support provided to farmers. Aligned with our integrated for the textile sector, this will help in increasing incomes of the farmers and ensure a steady supply of quality cotton for rejuvenating traditional textile sector. Credit cards facilitate short-term loans for 7.7 crore farmers, fishermen, farmers. The loan limit under modified interest subvention scheme will be enhanced from 3 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees taken through the KCC. In urea production, our government had reopened 3 dormant urea plants in the eastern region. To further augment urea supply, a plant with annual capacity of 12 metric tons will be set up at Namrup in Assam.
व्यक्तिगत विकास एवं मानव संसाधन के विकास पर भी सरकार का बजट में विशेष जोर दिखा। वित्त मंत्री ने कहा कि लोगों में निवेश ही देश का इंजन है। सरकार ने इस दिशा में भी कई बड़ी घोषणाएं की है, जिसमें आंगनवाड़ी और पोषण 2.0 कार्यक्रम के तहत 8 करोड़ बच्चों, गर्भ किशोरियों को पोषण सहायता दी जाएगी। 2014 के बाद IIT में और अधिक छात्रों को जगह देने के लिए बुनियादी ढांचे विस्तार किया जाएगा। इससे 6,500 सकेंगे। के लिए देश भर में 5 राष्ट्रीय केंद्र बनाए। वर्कर्स के लिए पहचान पत्र जारी किए जाएंगे और ई श्रम पंजीकृत किया जाए। करोड़ से ज्यादा
investment as the to investment which investing in people. Anganwadi and Poshan 2.0 suction and program nutritional more than 8 for pregnant mothers all over the country. About 20 girls, and the numbers for these new will be appropriately. Atal Tinkering Labs. 50,000 Atal Tinkering Labs will be set up in government schools in the next 5 years to cultivate the spirit of curiosity and innovation and foster a scientific temper among young minds. Broadband connectivity to government secondary schools and PHCs. Broadband connectivity will be provided to all government secondary schools and primary health centers in rural areas under the BharatNet project. Bharatiya Bhasha Pustak Scheme. We propose to implement a Bharatiya Bhasha Pustak scheme to provide digital form Indian language books for schools and for higher education. This aims to help students understand their subjects better and in their language. National Centers of Excellence for Skilling. Building on the initial July 24 budget, 5 national centers of excellence for skilling will be set up with global expertise and partnerships to equip with the skill for manufacturing. The partnership will cover curriculum design, training of trainers, and a skill certification framework and periodic reviews. Expansion of capacity in IITs. Total number of students in 23 IITs has increased 100% from 65,000 to 1.5 lakh in the past 10 years. Additional infrastructure will be created in the 5 IITs started after 2014 to facilitate education for 6,500 more students. Hostel and at IIT Patna will also be expanded. Center of Excellence. Center of Excellence in AI for Education. I had announced 3 centers of excellence in artificial intelligence for agriculture, health, and sustainable cities in 2023. A center of excellence in artificial intelligence will be set up with a total outlay of expansion. Our almost 1.1 under and postgraduate medical education in 10 years, an increase of 30%. In the next 10,000 additional seats will be added in medical colleges and hospitals towards adding 75,000 seats in the next 5 years. Daycare and cancer centers in all district hospitals. Our government will facilitate setting up of daycare cancer centers in all district hospitals in the next 3 years. 200 centers will be established in 25-26 itself.
सरकार ने बिजली क्षेत्र को मजबूत करने के लिए कई सुधारों की घोषणा की। वितरण सिस्टम को बेहतर बनाना शामिल है। राज्यों को बिजली वितरण में सुधार लाने के लिए प्रोत्साहित किया जाएगा। जो राज्य इन सुधारों को सफलतापूर्वक लागू करेंगे, उन्हें उनके राज्य के जीडीपी का 0% अतिरिक्त कर्ज लेने की अनुमति दी जाएगी, ताकि वे अपनी बिजली कंपनियों को मजबूत बना सके।
Power sector reforms. We will incentivize electricity distribution and transmission capacity by states. This finance and capacity of electricity companies. Additional borrowing of 0.5% of GSDP will be allowed to states contingent on these reforms. Nuclear energy mission for Vikasit Bharat. Development of at least 100 gigawatt of nuclear energy by 2047 is essential for our energy transition efforts. For an active partnership with the private sector towards this goal, amendments to the Atomic Energy Act and the Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act will be taken up. A nuclear energy mission for research and development of small modular reactors with an outlay of 20,000 crore will be set up. At least 5 indigenously developed small modular reactors will be operationalized by 2033. Building finance policy will be revamped to address cost disadvantages. This will also include credit notes for shipbreaking in Indian yards to promote the circular economy. Large ships above a specified size will be included in the infrastructure harmonized. Shipbuilding clusters will be facilitated to increase range and additional infrastructure facilities, skilling and technology to develop the entire ecosystem. Maritime Development Fund for long-term financing for the Maritime Development Fund with a corpus of 25,000 crore rupees will be set up. This will be for distributed support and promoting competition. This will have up to 49% contribution by the government, and the balance will be mobilized from ports and from private sector.
नागरिक उड्डयन के क्षेत्र में उड़ान योजना ने अब तक 619 रूट्स के जरिए 1.5 करोड़ यात्रियों को 88 हवाई। अब सरकार इस योजना को और आगे बढ़ाने जा रही है। उड़ान योजना का एक नया संस्करण लॉन्च किया जाएगा, जिसमें 120 नए हवाई गंतव्य जोड़े जाएंगे। इसका लक्ष्य है कि 4 करोड़ अतिरिक्त यात्री हवाई यात्रा का लाभ उठा सकें। साथ ही बिहार में नए ग्रीनफील्ड हवाई अड्डे भी बनाए जाएंगे, जिससे कनेक्टिविटी बेहतर होगी।
Udan has enabled 1.5 crore middle-class people to meet their aspirations for speedier. The scheme has connected 88 airports, and operationalized 619 routes. Inspired by that success, a modified Udan scheme will be launched to enhance regional connectivity to 120 new destinations and 4 core passengers in the crores in just 10 years. The scheme will also support helipads and smaller airports in hilly, aspirational and northeast regional districts. Greenfield airports will be facilitated in Bihar to meet the of the state. These will be in addition to the expansion of the capacity of Patna Airport and a brownfield airport in Beta.
आप जानते हैं कि किन चीजों पर टैक्स बढ़ाया गया है। लिथियम आयन बैटरी के स्क्रैप पर अब कोई बेसिक कस्टम ड्यूटी यानी बीसीडी नहीं लगेगी। 37 नई दवाएं और 13 पेशेंट असिस्टेंस प्रोग्राम में जोड़े गए हैं। गंभीर बीमारी में इस्तेमाल 6 दवाओं पर सिर्फ 5% ड्यूटी ही लगेगी। ब्लू लेदर पर तरह से बढ़ाया गया। ट्रस्ट लेदर को 20% शुल्क से मुक्त किया। जमे हुए फिश पेस्ट पर शुल्क को 30% से घटाकर 5% कर दिया गया है। मछली हाइड्रोलिक को घटाकर 5% करा गया है। इंटरैक्टिव फ्लैट पैनल डिस्प्ले पर शुल्क बढ़ाकर 20% कर दिया गया है, जबकि एलसीडी और एलईडी के कंपोनेंट पर शुल्क घटाकर 5% कर दिया गया है।
Continuing these efforts, I reaffirm the commitment of the tax to trust first, scrutinize later. I also propose to introduce the new income tax bill next week. I will detail the indirect tax reforms and changes in direct taxes in Part B. Financial sector reforms. The FDI limit for the insurance sector will be raised from 74 to 100%. This enhanced limit will be available for those who invest the entire premium. The current guardrails and conditionalities with foreign investment reviewed and simplified. Of India Post Payment Bank will be deepened and expanded in rural areas. NABFID will set up a partial credit enhancement facility bonds infrastructure. Public sector banks will develop Grameen Credit Score Framework to serve the credit needs of SHG members and people in rural areas. For regulation and development of pension products will be set up. To implement the earlier announcement on simplifying the KYC processes, the revamped Central KYC Registry will be rolled out in 2025. We will also implement a streamlined system for periodic updating. Requirements and procedures for speedy approval of company mergers will be rationalized. The scope for fast-track mergers will also be widened and the process made simpler. As proposed in the interim budget, we signed bilateral investment treaties with 2 countries in 2024 to encourage sustained foreign investment, and in the spirit of First Develop India, the current model BIT will be revamped and made more investor-friendly. In the last 10 years, in several aspects, including financial and non-financial, our government has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to ease of doing business. We are determined to ensure that our regulators keep up with technological innovations and global policy developments. A light-touch regulatory framework based on principles and trust will unleash productivity and employment. Through this framework, we will update regulations that were made under us. To develop this modern, flexible, people-friendly and trust-based regulatory framework century, I propose 4 specific measures. A high-level committee for regulatory reforms will be set up for a review of all non-financial sector regulations, certifications, licenses and permissions. The committee will be expected to make recommendations within a year. The objective is to strengthen trust-based economic governance and take transformational measures to enhance ease of doing business, especially in matters of inspection and compliances. States will be encouraged to join in this endeavor. An investment friendliness index of states will be launched in 2025 to further the spirit of competitive, cooperative federalism. Under the Financial Stability and Development Council, a mechanism will be set up to evaluate impact of the current financial regulations and subsidiary instructions. It will also formulate a framework to enhance their responsiveness and development of the financial sector. In the Jan Vishwas Act 2023, more than 180 legal decriminalized. Our government will now bring up the Jan Vishwas Bill 2.0 to decriminalize more than 100 provisions in various laws. I now move to fiscal policy. In the July budget, I had committed to staying the course for fiscal consolidation. Our endeavour will be to keep the fiscal deficit each such that federal government debt remains on a declining path as a percentage. The roadmap for the next 6 years has been detailed in the FRBM statement. Revised estimates for 2024-25. The revised estimate of the total receipts other than borrowings is 31.47 lakh crore rupees, of which the net tax receipts are 25.57 lakh crore rupees. The revised total expenditure is 16 lakh crore rupees, of which the capital expenditure is about 10.18 lakh crore rupees. The revised estimate of the fiscal deficit is 4.8% of the GDP. Budget estimates for 25-26. Coming to 25-26, the total receipts other than borrowings and total expenditure are estimated at 34.96 lakh crore rupees and 50.65 respectively. The net tax receipts are estimated at 28.37 lakh crore rupees. The fiscal deficit is estimated to be 4.4% GDP. To finance the fiscal deficit, the net market borrowings from dated securities are estimated at 11.54 lakh crore. The balance expected to come from small savings and other sources. The gross market borrowings are estimated at 14.82 lakh crore rupees. Part B. Indirect taxes. My proposals relating to customs aim to rationalize tax, and these will also support domestic manufacturing and value addition, promote exports, facilitate trade, and provide relief to common people. Of customs tariff structure for industrial goods. As a part of customs rate structure announced in July 2024 budget, I propose to remove 7 tariff rates. This is over and above the 7 tariff rates removed in 23-24 budget. After this, there will be only 8 remaining tariff rates, including 0 rate. 2. Apply appropriate cess to broadly maintain effective duty incidence, except on a few items where such incidence will reduce marginally. 3. Levy not more than 1 cess or surcharge. Therefore, I propose to exempt social welfare surcharge on 82 tariff lines that are subject to a cess. I shall now take up sector-specific proposals. To provide relief to patients, particularly those suffering from cancer, rare diseases, and other severe chronic diseases, I propose to add 36 life-saving drugs and medicines to the list of medicines fully exempted from basic custom duty. I also propose to add 6 life-saving medicines to the list attracting concessional custom duty of 5%. Full exemption and concessional duty will also respectively apply on the bulk drugs for manufacture of the above. Specified drugs and medicines under patient assistance programs run by the pharmaceutical companies are fully exempt from BCD, provided the medicines are supplied free of cost to the patients. I propose to add 37 more medicines along with 13 new patient assistance programs. Support to domestic manufacturing and value addition. Critical minerals. In the July 2024 budget, I had fully exempted BCD on 25 critical minerals that are not domestically available. I had also reduced BCD of minerals to provide a major fillip to their processing, especially by MSMEs. Now, I propose to fully exempt cobalt powder and waste, scrap of lithium-ion battery, lead, zinc, and 12 more critical minerals. This will help secure the availability for manufacturing in India and promote more jobs for our youth. To promote domestic production of technical textile products such as medical textiles and geotextiles at competitive prices, I propose to add 2 more types of shuttle-less looms to the list of fully exempted textile machinery. I also propose to revise the BCD rate on knitted fabrics covered by 9 tariff lines from 10 or 20 to 20% or 115 rupees per kg, whichever is higher. In line with our Make in India policy and to rectify inverted duty structure, I propose to increase the BCD on interactive flat panel display from 10% to 20% and reduce the BCD on open cell and other components. In 23-24 budget, for the manufacture of LCD, LED TVs, I had on parts of open cells from 5% to 2.5%. To further boost the manufacture of such open cells, the BCD on these parts will now stand exempted. Lithium-ion battery. To the list of exempted capital goods, I propose to add 35 additional goods for EV battery manufacturing and 28 additional capital goods for mobile phone battery manufacturing. This will boost domestic manufacture of lithium-ion batteries, both for mobile phones and for electric vehicles. Shipping sector. That shipbuilding has a long gestation period. I propose to continue the exemption of BCD on raw materials, consumables, or parts for the manufacture of ships for another 10 years. I also propose the same dispensation for shipbreaking to make it more competitive. Telecommunication. To prevent classification disputes, I propose to reduce the BCD from 20% to 10% on carrier-grade Ethernet switches to make it at par with non-carrier-grade Ethernet switches. Export promotion. To facilitate exports of handicrafts, I propose to extend the time period for export from 6 months to 1 year, further extendable by another 3 months if required.
और अब आखिर में बात करते हैं डायरेक्ट टैक्स की, जिस पर सभी निगाहें रहती हैं। वित्त मंत्री ने बजट पेश करते हुए टैक्स में छूट की बड़ी घोषणा की। उन्होंने कहा कि टैक्स छूट से मिडिल क्लास के लोगों के पास खपत के लिए ज्यादा पैसे बचेंगे और इसके साथ ही वे निवेश में पैसा बढ़ा सकेंगे और बचत भी कर सकेंगे। वित्त मंत्री ने इनकम टैक्स में छूट की सीमा 12 लाख तक बढ़ने की बात, अलग अलग टैक्स स्लैब में भी बदलाव का ऐलान किया। इस ऐलान के बाद ये सवाल उठ रहे हैं कि 12 लाख तक टैक्स छूट के क्या मायने हैं और क्या 12 लाख से ऊपर इनकम होने पर भी 12 लाख तक नहीं देना होगा टैक्स। नए टैक्स रिजीम के मुताबिक 12 लाख तक के इनकम तक तो टैक्स शून्य रहेगा, लेकिन 12 लाख से 1 रुपए भी ज्यादा हुई इनकम तो चुकाना होगा टैक्स। हालांकि नौकरी पेशा लोगों के लिए स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन भी है, जिससे ये लिमिट बढ़ जाती है। हालांकि ये बदलाव सिर्फ उन टैक्स पेयर्स के लिए है जो न्यू टैक्स रिजीम यानी नई टैक्स व्यवस्था को चुनेंगे। ये छूट इनकम टैक्स की धारा 87A के तहत दी जाएगी। इसके तहत सरकार 25,000 रुपए का टैक्स माफ करती थी, अब 60,000 रुपए कर दिया गया है। हालांकि ये रियायत 12 लाख तक ही मिलेगी, इससे ज्यादा इनकम पर टैक्स देना होगा। इसके साथ ही अलग अलग टैक्स स्लैब में भी बदलाव का ऐलान किया। इसके तहत अब 4 लाख रुपए की सालाना इनकम पर कोई टैक्स नहीं लगेगा। 4 से 8 लाख रुपए पर 5%, 8 से 12 लाख रुपए पर 10%, 12 लाख से 16 लाख रुपए पर 15%, 16 से 20 लाख रुपए पर 20%, 20 लाख रुपए से 24 लाख रुपए पर 25% और 24 लाख रुपए से ऊपर की सालाना इनकम पर 30% टैक्स लगेगा। इसके अलावा वरिष्ठ नागरिकों के लिए ब्याज पर टैक्स छूट की सीमा बढ़ाकर 1 लाख कर दी गई है। वहीं किराए पर DDS की सीमा भी 2.5 कर दी गई है, जिससे किराएदारों को राहत मिलेगी।
I also propose to add 9 items to the list of duty-free inputs. Leather sector proposed to fully exempt BCD on wet blue leather to facilitate imports, domestic value addition employment. I also propose to exempt crushed leather from 20% export duty to facilitate exports by small tanners. Marine products. To enhance India's competitiveness in the global seafood market, I propose to reduce BCD from 30% to 5% on frozen fish paste, surimi, for manufacture and export of its analog products. I also propose to reduce BCD from 15% to 5% on fish hydrolysates for manufacture of fish and shrimp feed. In July 2024 budget, to promote development of domestic MROs for aircraft and ships, I had extended the time limit for export of foreign origin goods that were imported for repairs from 6 months to 1 year and further extendable by 1 year. I now propose to extend the same dispensation for railway goods. Time limit for provisional assessment. Presently, the Customs Act 1962 does not provide any time limit to finalize provisional assessments, leading to uncertainty and cost to trade. As a measure of promoting ease of doing business, I propose to fix a time limit of 2 years, extendable by a year, for finalizing the provisional assessment. I propose to introduce a new provision that will enable importers or exporters, after clearance of goods, to voluntarily declare material facts and pay duty with interest but without penalty. This will incentivize voluntary compliance. However, this will not apply in cases where department has already initiated audit or investigation proceedings. For industry to better plan their imports, I propose to extend the time limit for the end use of imported inputs in the relevant rules from 6 months to 1 year. This will provide operational flexibility in view of cost and uncertainty of supply. Further, such importers will now have to file only quarterly statements instead of a monthly statement. I now come to my direct tax proposals. In Part A, I have briefly underlined taxation reforms as one of key reforms to realize our vision of Vikasit Bharat. In respect of criminal law, our government earlier ushered in Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, replacing Bharatiya Danda Sanhita. I am happy to inform this august House and the country that for new income tax bill will carry forward the same spirit of Nyaya in its drafting as well. The new bill will be clear and direct in text, with close to half of the present law in terms of both chapters and words. It will be simple to understand for taxpayers and tax administrators, leading to tax and reduced litigation. Reforms, however, are not a destination. They are means to achieve good governance for our people and economy. Providing good governance primarily involves being responsive. The Tirukural captures this in verse 542, which reads, Vaanoki vaazhum ulagallam, mannavan kol noki vaazhum kudi. Meaning, just as the living beings live expecting rains, citizens live expecting good governance. Our government is committed to keeping an ear to the ground and a finger on the pulse and responding while balancing our national building efforts. The following measures will detail just how our government will, under the guidance of PM Modi, has taken steps to understand and address. I repeat that sentence, sir.
वित्त वर्ष 2025-26 के लिए पेश किए गए आम बजट पर पीएम मोदी ने कहा कि आज देश विकास भी के मंत्र को लेकर चल रहा है और इस बजट में इसके लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण और ठोस कदम उठाए गए हैं। बजट में नई कर व्यवस्था के तहत 12 लाख रुपए तक वार्षिक आय को कर के दायरे से मुक्त रखा गया है। केंद्रीय वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमन द्वारा पेश बजट में बिहार के लिए दिल खोलकर सौगातें दी गई हैं। वहीं बिहार के सीएम नीतीश कुमार भी इस बजट से काफी खुश नजर आ रहे हैं। नीतीश कुमार ने बजट पर प्रतिक्रिया देते हुए इसे प्रगतिशील, भविष्योन्मुखी, सकारात्मक और स्वागत योग्य बताते हुए कहा, बजट में बिहार के लिए जो घोषणाएं की गई हैं, उनसे बिहार के विकास को और गति मिलेगी। बिहार सरकार के कार्यालय की तरफ से में उन्होंने मखाना बोर्ड की स्थापना करने, ग्रीनफील्ड हवाई अड्डों की सुविधा प्रदान करने से लेकर बिहार में आईआईटी के विस्तार तक का जिक्र करते हुए केंद्र सरकार को धन्यवाद दिया है। लोकसभा में नेता प्रतिपक्ष राहुल गांधी ने बजट को लेकर सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म एक्स पर अपनी पोस्ट में लिखा, गोली लगने के घाव के लिए एक मरहम पट्टी। उन्होंने आरोप लगाया कि वैश्विक अनिश्चितता के बीच हमारे आर्थिक संकट को हल करने के लिए एक आदर्श बदलाव की आवश्यकता है, लेकिन ये सरकार विचारों को लेकर दिवालिया है। आज के न्यूज बुलेटिन में बस इतना ही। देश दुनिया की तमाम खबरों के लिए जुड़े रहिए हमारे साथ और देखते रहिए गंगा न्यूज। वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमन ने वित्त वर्ष 2025-26 के लिए बजट पेश करते हुए कहा, साथ मिलकर हम प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के दूरदर्शी नेतृत्व में भारत की क्षमता को उजागर करने का लक्ष्य रखते हैं। ये बजट विकसित भारत के सपने को साकार करने के लिए है। ये हमारे मध्यम वर्ग, किसानों और व्यापारियों की आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करने के लिए तैयार किया गया है।
I present the budget for 25-26. This budget continues our government's efforts to A. Accelerate growth, B. Secure inclusive development, C. Invigorate private sector investments, D. Uplift household sentiments, and